Hi, I'm Sharon Spangler. On this Council Connections, I've been interviewing Dan Gustin. He's the council member for Ward 1, and we've been talking about professional sports in downtown Reno. And the Big Horns have had an amazing first season, and now AAA baseball is going to have their first home game on April 17th. That's absolutely amazing.
It is. It takes, I was involved with the AAA before the current people that are in ownership came into the scene. And we were talking about building a stadium way back when and how much money it would be, et cetera. And we were talking 16 to 18 months. And they're going to finish this stadium in just about a year. Now, weather cooperated, that's certainly part of it. But the fact that the owners are there every day and watching the progression of the construction that's going on is just amazing that you can be open in about a year's time and have your stadium completed. And for people who want to drive by right now, drive by 2nd Street and Evans Avenue, and you can see, it looks from the outside like it's finished, but it's not. But it's gone up so quickly, and to be ready to play baseball on the 17th is phenomenal.
What do you think the AAA baseball team is going to do for the city of Reno? Well,
I think it's in any city, you want things of interest. You want a ballet, you want an opera, you want arts, and you want sports. And AAA baseball is as close to the major leagues as you're going to get. Players go back and forth, and I think it takes you up a notch as to what your city's providing. You're providing activities, be they in the arts and the other things, and sports now at a high level. And AAA, with the enthusiasm that the people that own it have, and the Diamondbacks, their parent organization, I think it's really going to be outstanding for the city of Reno. I think people, whether you're a baseball fan or not, and I was talking to the owner the other day, and they were talking about their opening on the 17th, and then they play 8 straight games. And he said, I really wish we weren't playing 8 consecutive games, because as much as you love baseball, you might not want to go 8 nights in a row, but you might go a couple times. And the attraction is, if you're there for a 3 or 4 game homestand, you go away, play for a week, and then come back, it's renewed energy. So whether people will be there 8 straight nights for their opening stand, hard to say. But AAA baseball takes us up another notch. We've had great athletics at the university, men's and women's, for quite a few years, and the recognition. And I used to sell that, and I used to sell it as, we don't have a franchise like the 49ers or the Raiders or the Giants or the A's. The university has been the franchise. They will continue to be a very strong participant in athletics in this area, but AAA baseball and D-League basketball, and I'll give you a little hint. I'm premature, but there are people discussing right now a hockey team.
Oh, I know. I've heard about that.
Good. I'm glad you've heard about that, because Larry Lazier, who was here a few years ago, and he and Paul Revere and the Raiders, I think they still own the franchise. I'm not quite sure about that, but there's talk about at the event center, because the venue that they've created for basketball fits well for hockey. It can be expanded a little bit because the ice is a little longer than a basketball floor, but it's not definite yet. But there's conversation about bringing a Western Hockey League team to the city of Reno, because, like baseball, we're so centrally located that's easy jumping off for the other cities. It'd be Salt Lake and Fresno and Las Vegas and the other places that have teams. It would be very easy to put a team in Reno, because you're almost in the bullseye.
Well, the last hockey team that was here had a pretty good following. It really did, and I think that people are getting used to coming downtown now and going to that event center for concerts, and now the Big Horns. So, it seems like a natural. You start developing those habits with people, and it's like, wow, I can go downtown, I can go do this, and then I can go to dinner, I can go dancing. There's just a lot of things. They can go to the West Street Market and go to the wine bar.
Yeah, there are a great deal of things to do. And the nice part about the venues that are created, the Reno Aces and then the Big Horns at the event center, there's parking nearby. Now, you can pay for parking across the street from the event center. It costs $8, and that's not cheap, but it's not overly expensive when you consider going to the Kings or some other places. But there's a lot of free parking adjacent to these 2 venues. And I think that helps draw people so they don't figure, well, my budget's going to be shot because I'm going to go down there and pay for parking. But that's money they have to spend in other areas, be it food or entertainment or merchandise, whatever it is.
Do you see Reno as a pretty good sports town? You were talking about the university, and there's always those Wolfpack fans. Seems like the games have more older people, UNR alumni versus students at a lot of the games. Do you think that there's room for all of these teams and that they're all going to do well?
You know, I certainly do. I heard a little bit of an interview that Jerry West did. They honored him this last weekend at West Virginia, being the greatest basketball player ever to play there. And they were talking about when he played and where basketball is now. And he gave great praise to ESPN Sports because that franchise, ESPN, has done tremendous things for athletics. Athletics can continue to grow. It's amazing the people that are attracted. And one of the great things is at the university level, Title IX now is in effect, and people need to abide by it. And you've got more women involved in athletics, and men involved in athletics have always been there. But it's one of the things that it's amazed me in my 4 or 5 years that I've been doing broadcasting of different events and games. It's amazed me how much athletics have grown and how many people are interested. People are interested in hockey, in basketball, soccer, whatever it is. But athletics continue to grow.
That's great. You've had such a great career doing that.
Well, it's been a lengthy career. I never started out to do that, but it's been a lengthy career, and I've enjoyed it because it's a lot of fun. Because when the game's on, you know, it's really interesting. The excitement goes for whatever period of time that is. If it's basketball and at the Big Horns, it's 4 quarters of 12 minutes, and it's about a 2.5 hour show. Baseball's about the same, 9 innings, and it just seems that you're not concentrating on the clock or time. You're letting yourself go to enjoy whatever it is and live vicariously through those athletes that are on the court or on the floor or hopefully, as we're talking about, be on the ice. I've actually...
I'm excited about ice hockey, I have to say that. I grew up watching the Clippers in Baltimore.
In a past life, when I was living in Ottawa, Canada, I actually worked for the Eastern National Hockey Team.
Wow.
That was one of the 2 divisions, Eastern and Western National Hockey Teams combined to make the Canadian team. And the Canadians, you know, have always been the dominant country when it comes to hockey. So I really am looking forward. I hope there is a hockey team in our future because you're talking about sports and is there enough out there for everybody? Believe me, there is. 20 years ago, I probably would have said, it's a little questionable whether that many people are going to pay to go see an event. Not anymore. The way sports have grown across the spectrum, as I talked about men and women, and now there's so many young people participating in youth leagues, and they grow up, and it's the competitiveness and the whole thing about sports, I think are positive. I really think it's positive. I think they're expanding their market just tremendously.
Great. Well, thank you for this insight. Appreciate it. It's so nice to talk about some positive news. Lately, all we're hearing about is negative stuff, and I know the Gazette-Journal recently did a whole Sunday section on positive things happening to Reno, and I think that the Big Horns, AAA baseball, and the possibility of ice hockey in Reno are all very positive stories.
It is great to talk about positive things, and I think a lot of people realize the negativity has started outside the city of Reno, because we have always done things, and the people that live in this area have done things positively, but the effects of the economy and the economic conditions across the country are reflecting on us, and we'll work our way through it. It's okay. We'll come out, I think, sooner than people think.
Great. Well, thank you for that great information. I appreciate that. I hope you're right. And thank you all for joining us on this Council Connection.